Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, millions of people swear by CBD. What is it and how can it help you? We'll be talking to an international educator next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, CBD is all the rage. You can't go anywhere without seeing a CBD store or something like that. But not all products are created equal. So to talk about that today, Leigh Barnes. She is a CBD International Educator. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here, Jeff.
Absolutely. Well, I want to get into your background in a second, but first let's do kind of CBD 101. What is CBD?
So the wonderful part about it is it's a plant that was in every single person's body, all the way back up into George Washington. I mean, people used to use it. It was grown. We use it for paper. They're doing buildings with it. It was a commodity that people needed. And of course, government has to get involved every once in a while. And of course, they put together a bill that shut it down, and they demonized marijuana with hemp. Hemp was something that was medicinally used. It changed lives. Doctors were using it. But when I, of course, got sick, I really started understanding the power of using something all natural. Yes. And CBD came about, and there's a lot of misunderstanding about it. But I'm hoping I can clear some of that up today and get the viewers to understand it's something you need in your body. Absolutely. It can do game changers.
And one of the reasons you're wearing that bright pink outfit is it is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and you had your own health battle.
I did. 35, I was diagnosed. I used to be in the wedding industry, and of course having chemicals and being around so much, I decided that I was shocked. I was the one person I just never thought I'd have it. I was healthy, and next day I'm diagnosed with stage 3 aggressive rare breast cancer. And with a baby I was nursing and a 7-year-old, your life changes pretty quickly. And with that being said, I immediately started thinking, okay, I've got to take better care of myself. Of course, the doctors didn't know what to do, and I'm very thankful that with, of course, Western science and things like that, I was able to survive it. But looking back, I look at so many people that were struggling. I wish we had had the ability to have this plant, it's now in all 50 states legal as long as it's under 0.3% THC.
Tell us how you discovered CBD.
A friend of mine she kept calling, she goes, hey, have you heard of the federal farm bill? And I said, no. And she said, it's now legal to take hemp. She said, it's great for all certain body issues, whether it's anxiety, stress, sleep. It balances your homeostasis. And I said, well, I don't understand all that. I said, I'm hurting. I'm in tough shape. Being a designer, this hand was just excruciating issues. So she gave me some topical. I tried it. And she also gave me an oil. And if you've ever tried CBD, it literally can taste like you're drinking or eating the forest. And most people immediately are turned off because it's so rough to take. And so I took it for 2 months, nothing happened. And so I just assumed all CBDs were snake oil. And a good friend of mine said, no, there's 2,000 on the market. You'd be lucky to know exactly which ones to get. And her exact words were, never, ever, ever, ever take sushi at a gas station. Don't you ever put CBD in your body unless you know exactly where it came from, the quality, the transparency, and of course the efficacy. That's the reason why I chose this company to represent, and of course I chose them because of the medical background and the clinical studies.
And let's brag about the company that you're with. We're going to pull up the website. What is it that makes this company unique?
I went through a lot of research to find one that actually got the plant into your body. So keep in mind, most CBDs, it's an oil-based, and our bodies are mainly water. So you're asking an incredible plant that has 400 nutrients to go into the body, do its job. But if you're mainly water, it's going to be very difficult, so somebody might not see results very quickly. the reason why I loved this brand was because it has an encapsulation molecule. So it instantly, when you put it through your mouth, it goes right through the esophagus and starts absorbing in the bloodstream. So for clients that have been out there and they're struggling, they've tried it, they just didn't realize it wasn't absorbing. And with our clinical studies showing that 94%, up to 94% in the bloodstream, I was all about it. And when I put the topical on my hand, which I was taking 2 and 3 Advil a day, I totally couldn't believe it was gone, like that excruciating. And then it's been now almost 6 years. I take CBD and CBG every day, and there's a lot of cannabinoids. So people are not aware that there's cannabinoids for sleep. There's a cannabinoid for anxiety. There's a cannabinoid for your gut health. And so I started taking the two together, and it created this incredible entourage effect. And it changed my life. And I was chronic with sinus issues, back and forth with the doctor, going back and forth for issues, taking Z-Packs and taking all those things that you have to do to deal with allergies in Dallas. And it's been almost right at 6 years, and I've not been to the doctor.
Is
That's
that
a
right?
miracle. My doctor looked at me and goes, I can't believe you've not been in here. And I go, it's CBD
Wow.
and CBG. It changed my life.
The name of the company is Zalise?
Zalise. Yes, sir.
And
It
what
is.
does that mean?
It is. Can I?
Yeah, that's okay. Well, what does Zalise mean?
Zalise, it's Swahili for nutrients doubled, and we're a pay-it-forward company. We're huge with the military, and we're also with prenatal vitamins around the world. We're the second largest contributor in the world under one of the largest companies that gives vitamins away. We give lots of prenatals for women because if you don't have good nutrition, your body can't heal quickly. Sure. And we're not seeing it in our food sources like we used to. So you're having to supplement with some extra vitamins and nutrients, and this plant has 400 nutrients. And until the early 1990s, they didn't even understand why the hemp plant works so well, whether it's a issue with your ankle, with an issue with your, maybe a migraine, maybe some anxiety, maybe sleep. And what they found was it's hitting something called the endocannabinoid system. And you can do your own research. I tell individuals, go Google. ECS is what they call it for short. Go Google CB1 receptors and CB2 receptors and Google CBD and CBG. You will not believe the plethora of incredible conversations from PubMed studies to what this plant is doing. And now we have clinical proof that our taxpayers, your taxpayer dollars paid for on our clinical study. So I have proof what the plant does now with white paper.
We've got a little video, and I want you to kind of narrate this as we look at this video because it does do so many different things. Some people get confused, though. It doesn't get you high. It's not. It's not marijuana.
Oh, you can't. That's
So-
the best part. It's
so
the THC levels are so low, and what people don't understand is how important the plant is to bring the body to balance. So the key thing is just like when I had breast cancer, I was out of balance. The chemicals I was putting in my body, probably 6 Diet Cokes a day, probably wasn't a great idea. But all of that said, my body was out of balance, and it created some issues that, of course, I developed breast cancer. And going through that process, I realized how important it is to take care of your body and what you put in it, and drinking proper water. But back to the plant, if the plant's not getting in the bloodstream, you'd have to take it for months on end to get the results.
Right.
So in our clinical study, the results were so quick with all 20 patients. They were given 1 dropper a day of our CBD and our ultracell technology. And the best part was all 20, it was in their bloodstream. Every hour on the hour, they did the study, and you can see the study on our site. But what was fascinating is it was 83 to 94% in every cell of the body in just a short 2 hours. So you want things to happen quickly, and that's what clients are looking for.
That's amazing. I found a bunch of testimonial videos. Let's go ahead and roll one of them.
And I'm the happiest girl in the world. I am a 70-year-old female that has been an insomniac all my life until I met wonderful Leigh on October the 23rd. That's the day I'll live in infamy, 2022. She introduced me to Zalise, and my life changed. I have not slept more than 1 to 3 hours all my life. And the first night, against all odds, in a noisy hotel room, I slept 5.5 hours. I was overjoyed. Then I got home the next night. I slept 8 hours, which was unheard of, 9 hours the next night, and 10 hours the next. I am now on my 25th day, I believe, of taking Zalise, and I am sleeping 8 hours a night, and I'm not going to the bathroom all night long, which is a miracle in itself. It changed my life forever, and I have a burning desire to share this with everyone. An insomniac can't get their body to rest. You can't heal your body. I have 31 surgeries in my body, and everything in my body usually ached at one time or another. Zalise has solved that problem. Wonderful glow, wonderful shield, wonderful ultra R&R, and the topical cream. You've got a customer for life. I hope you will try these products out, because you will never be sorry, and you can't wait to stop somebody in the grocery store line and tell them all about it, just like me. Over and out.
I love it. And so show us how it works.
It's actually a pixie stick, which I love. And if you're a kid from the 70s, you love that taste of the pixie stick. Sure. It's identical, but it's 400 nutrients. So the Glow is easy to take. It's easy to travel with. I love it because the clinical studies. So I tell people all the time to have a double-blind placebo-controlled study where 100 participants in the study were watched over by Mayo Clinic for 3 months. What was the most fascinating part, Jeff, was the fact that every single person in the study, in 4 weeks, if I told you your REM sleep could be 306% deeper REM, meaning your body would heal, that's exciting by itself.
Sure.
Now, the participants were a little overweight, so they did show that. I actually lost 16 pounds on just this. Okay. I have some that do, some don't, so I don't always say that on the weight. But when your body is in homeostasis, it heals. It feels great. And that's what clients want. And that's what this little magic does.
And do you recommend 1 a day, 2 a day?
I do 1 a day. I tell my clients, take it in the morning, only because you're going to want to go clean the baseboards that feel really good. So you got to be careful because you feel great. Yeah. But it works on all the body trying to heal. That's the key. Our body is such a beautiful, beautiful piece of magnificent work, and we've got to give it the right things to make it heal. And what really frustrated me when I had cancer, I think when you start doing the research, if you go all the way back to George Washington, every single person in America used to have CBD in their body. And the way I can prove it is because if you're a landowner of 20 acres of land or more, you were required by the government to grow hemp. They used it in the cattle. Your chickens would have eaten it. Your grains this morning you would have eaten. All of them would have had the hemp plant in it to help you. Everything you ate this morning. So now we're seeing it in coffee. We have a coffee product that I love. You can see it in natural skincare. We've seen it take care of brown spots in just 14 days with a plant. That's a plant. That's and we take it for granted. So the minute I don't feel good, or if I feel like something's coming up, I immediately grab my little shield stick here. And the reason I love the convenience of these is because they're on the go. This is CBG. CBG is a gut part of the plant. So what I tell clients all the time is please make sure if you're not feeling good, take some CBG. If you really think about it, in your mother's womb, your gut was formed before your brain.
Wow. So
you really think they talk about the brain health correlation and the gut health. And I think our clients across the country understand that more and more as our bodies aren't doing as well.
Tell us about ultrasound.
So ultrasound is the technology part of the plant, so it gets in the bloodstream very quickly. I love the topical, and just for our viewers out there, one thing that's really, I didn't even understand, your endocannabinoid system is almost like a breaker panel on the back of your neck.
Okay.
There's 2 receptors. So if I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, or I'm a little bit exhausted, or maybe I just have a little issue in my knee, I start with my topical. And the good thing about topical is it smells good, it's got the great, and also, every little bottle has a QR code. Never, ever, ever, ever buy products that you don't test that QR code first. And I'll tell you why. The plant is very sponge-like, and clients don't understand that. They go out and they just buy something on the shelf and think, oh, it's fine. The reason why that's so important is when you test this plant, if Farmer Bob is next door throwing pesticides on his strawberries and it goes onto your hemp farm, all those pesticides go straight back into this bottle immediately. So I've had clients scan their bottle, they spend $150 on, and then they'll go, oh my gosh, it's got arsenic in it. And I go, throw it away. And then not to mention, I love the fact that Zalise actually does clinical studies on every batch. It's very important.
That's amazing.
From a third party. I give my white papers to my doctors because a lot of doctors don't understand the endocannabinoid system. It's just now really being explained more and more in the medical establishments. One great thing about the hemp plant, and of course the federal farm bill, it's now legal in all 50 states, but now we're just hitting Europe. We're just hitting Latin America. So being that we're in 31 countries, it's very exciting. Very exciting.
Well, Leigh, we're almost out of time. So final thoughts. What would you like to leave people with?
I just feel like everybody needs to know about this plant. And if you're somebody out there and you're struggling with an issue, and don't be ashamed. We all have them. Our bodies are, designed on this planet for a very specific time, and God has very specific purposes for our body. But the thing about it is, if you don't feel good and you don't have that energy, you don't feel great, you want the best of you. Just like you, Jeff. You're on TV all the time. You want the best. We all want the best. But sometimes when you don't feel it, or you just have that something that's not right, your body could be out of whack. And we want your body in homeostasis. I promise you, give me 90 days, I'll change your life. And very few of my clients ever leave me because they see such results. And then if they go back, things start coming back, and they don't want all those problems. So I'd love to help them in any way if I can.
Leigh, you've been an amazing guest. Thank you for sharing your heart and your wisdom with us. We're going to leave you with 2 ways to get a hold of her. We're going to start with the corporate site, which is Zalise/Barnes CBD. And then Leigh's personal site is glowbyleigh.com. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you. I'll glow you up. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Jeff.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.